Our top 5 waiver wire guys.
Yeah, we'll do top 5 waiver wire guys right now.
All right.
Who is number 5?
So number 5 for me is Devontae Freeman. He's not by any means like a must get, but I think he's gonna get a decent amount of points on a great offense, and especially while Latavius Murray is out. Because I mean, someone's got to run the ball there a little bit, and Freeman will catch the ball. So I think he's a good get, especially if you need a running back, because there's not a ton of running backs from the waiver wire this week. And Devontae Freeman is a decent one to me. You have any opinions on him?
Freeman, he kind of scares the heck out of me, mainly because he had a couple opportunities last season to be the lead dude. I think it was on the Giants, and he didn't really perform. But, I mean, that being said, last week he had a 11.4 points, 4 attempts for 14 yards. See, that right there, that scares me. 4 attempts, 14 yards. What? That's like 3 yards an attempt. But
he catches the ball.
He caught the ball, 3 targets, 3 receptions.
And if they're on the goal line and they're going to run it, it's probably going to be him.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate it. He is 20% owned across all leagues, so most likely he's available in whatever league that is looking for a replacement at running back. But yeah, that's a solid number 5 for me. I don't love Devontae Freeman.
Yeah, he's decent. Not a must add by any means, but if he's the best on your waiver wire, I don't hate it.
Yeah, if you're desperate at running back, it can't really hurt you if he's available in that league. I'd say okay. So what's your number 4?
Number 4 for me is right now, I think Michael Gallup.
Michael Gallup coming off IR this week.
I think Michael Gallup has potential to come off IR this week, if not probably next week. Coming back on one of the best offenses in the league.
Yep. And
I want any piece of that offense I can get. And Michael Gallup is a talented player.
He is. He's shown a lot of talent previously. He's 49.9% owned across ESPN leagues. He's only played 1 week so far because of the injury. But in that first week, he had 7 targets, 4 receptions, 36 yards. Mm-hmm. And who's his competition there? It's CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper.
Also Dalton Schultz.
Dalton Schultz, who's
also the running backs. They both catch the ball between Zeke and Pollard. So, I mean, a lot of room to spread the ball around.
It's amazing that team has been, all those players have been productive. I mean, I guess Amari Cooper's been a little less recently, productive-wise.
I mean, he's been disappointing for where you got him, but he's still a player that you probably want to start most weeks, right?
Right, but you'd rather have CeeDee Lamb in that offense.
Oh yeah,
right?
CeeDee Lamb I think is the number 1.
Yeah. CeeDee Lamb's the number 1,
but Cooper's a good number 2.
Yeah, I mean I like Michael Gallup. And
if for some reason something happened to Cooper or CeeDee Lamb, which Amari Cooper's been dealing with injuries throughout the year,
right? And even talking about next year, like if you're in a dynasty league, Amari Cooper's not going to be there. I wish I knew what his contract was.
He just signed a new contract pretty recently.
Do you know what it was? Do you know how many years it was? Look it up.
We'll look it up here.
Let's see.
It was at least 2 years.
Because I feel like Michael Gallup he's talented enough to like really solidify.
Yeah, if he ever got the number 2 job on that team, man, I think he would be a stud. I think he would want him for sure.
I drafted him in our dynasty league.
It's just been a waiting game, huh? You're just waiting for him to get that at least the number 2 job. Possibly what actually could happen that would be better for Gallup is after this year, his contract is up. He could sign with a different team and get a number 1 or number 2 spot.
Right.
If Cooper, he signed a long deal, so it's a 4-year deal. But there's a potential out every year. So if Dallas wants to move on, they can cut his contract every year.
Say that again?
Cooper, he signed a long deal. So Amari Cooper, he signed a 4-year deal.
4-year deal? What is it?
But it's real flexible. So, I mean, every year Dallas can move on from his contract.
Right.
No
trade clause or anything like that?
Right.
See, I feel like that's going to be like an Odell Beckham scenario where they move on pretty quickly from – because he hasn't really – I mean, as far as I don't ever remember a week where I'm like sad that I don't have Amari Cooper right now.
He had a great week 1, and then he's been pretty bad after that.
Yeah. Let's see here. So far, week 1, 32 points, and we were all sad that we didn't have Amari Cooper at that point.
Like, we had to have Cooper.
Right, but then the next 2 weeks, 3.9 points, 4.1, 14.4, 13.5, and then 8 this week. But he did have 8 targets, and they're heading into a bye. I feel like Michael Gallup is a solid waiver wire pickup for the long term.
I would definitely want to get Gallup.
In the short term.
Because also, like I said, if something happens to Cooper or Lamb, Gallup moves into that number 2 position, and he's a top wide receiver the rest of the league if that's the case.
All right, number 3 on the waiver wire pickups. Who are you looking at? You have someone?
Number 3 for me is probably Kenneth Gainwell right now.
Gainwell, yes.
Yep. Kenneth Gainwell with Sanders getting injured. We don't have a lot of details on the injury yet. So, I mean,
could be long, could be
long, could be short. But
not exactly sure.
I would want to stash Gainwell because if Sanders is out, I would think Gainwell's a good play the rest of the year.
Gainwell, yeah, he's a multi-asset. Basically, he catches the ball and he runs. I mean, really, for the most part, Philadelphia, they don't run a ton, but they do. Even whenever Miles Sanders was healthy, they would dump the ball off to Gainwell. Probably more than I think so far more than Miles Sanders. I'd have to look that stat up, but it always seems like he's always been involved with the healthy Miles Sanders. Now we're going to for sure get him. Miles Sanders is less, or without Miles Sanders this coming week. So I feel like top 3 for sure. Waiver wire pickup for Kenneth Gainwell.
I think Gainwell's a good pickup, and if you need a running back, he might be higher if you're desperate for running back.
Yeah. He had 12.1.
The only reason he's not higher is because Miles Sanders' status is pretty unknown.
And Miles Sanders has been like one of the most disappointing people to own this season too.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, he's been frustrating.
He's been very frustrating.
Yeah.
Luckily, I didn't have any exposure to him in any of the leagues that we're in or any.
Oh, I don't have any Miles Sanders. I didn't have high expectations for him going into this.
It sucks that he got an ankle injury this week, but it's an opportunity for Kenneth Gainwell, who is currently only 26% owned across ESPN leagues. Probably pretty solid running back pickup. Probably most likely, considering everyone else's that we're going to talk about has been at least looked into, might be the top waiver wire pickup on the week.
If you're in a deep league, it
might be the top waiver wire pickup on the week. But I like Kenneth Gainwell going forward. That's a great number 3.
Oh yeah,
a lot of opportunity there to score you consistent fantasy points, at least for 2 weeks, I would assume, if not more, depending on the news that comes out.
Like you said, really safe. Sanders. Like if he's the number 1 guy, he's guaranteed going to get catches, so he's never going to bust for you.
No.
And he's got upside to do more than that, so he's a good play.
I like Kenneth Gainwell. All right, I know my number 1. What's your number 2 on waiver wire pickup?
My number 2, probably most weeks this will be number 1, but we got a pretty good number 1 this week. But number 2 right now is Rashad Bateman. I've been pushing Rashad Bateman the last 3 weeks, been telling everyone go get him. If you did it, hold on to him. You're going to be thankful in the long run. He's only played 2 weeks so far this year. Both weeks led his team in targets as a rookie.
Yeah.
The guy's going to be great. The more he gets flowing and going with the offense, he's going to turn into a stud on that team.
Yeah. Like you said, led the entire offense in targets both weeks. In fact, every week he's played in the NFL, he's led.
He's never played a game where he didn't lead his team in targets.
Yeah. He had 6 in week 6, and then 6 in week 7. He had 9.5 fantasy points, 80 yards.
And he's an electric player, man.
He's an electric player. He's set up for success, and he's only. I mean, he went up a lot last week. I think we said he was like 2.7% owned in fantasy leagues.
He was really low.
He's moved up to 19% at this point,
and it's going to go higher.
And it's going to keep getting higher from this.
Get him while you can.
If you are in a league where it requires Fab to pick up your players, like you can pick up whoever you want, but it requires you to put in the highest bid in your league to get him. I would dump the money on this dude because he's got a very high long-term value. Regardless if it's a dynasty league or not, I feel like this dude can add a ton of points to your season or to your team going forward. Rashad
no
Bateman.
doubt he could be a league winner this year for sure.
Yeah.
So say you got a $100 fab budget. How much would you bet? How much would you spend on Rashad Bateman this week?
I don't know, 50-60% of that.
Yeah, I think that's about right.
Yeah, I mean, with me in Fab, I am always broke at the end of the season because there's usually someone that shows up that I want to get my hands on, and I want and this play can make or break your team.
Right.
So on the waiver wire pickups where I feel like this is make or break my team, I'll dump 60-70% of my entire budget on this guy just to make sure that I have him.
For all you know, there could be no one else that really shows up on the waiver wire.
Right, you don't know. It's a guessing game. A lot of times, the best players for the rest of the season show up between like week 1 and week 5.
I agree with that.
And
Usually, from like week 8 on, which is where we're at now, you're lucky if like 2 guys show up on the waiver wire.
That are like consistent for the rest of the season.
Right.
All the players at the end of the game, it's like these are players that have a short-term value because someone's injured or something, but it won't really bleed into next season or anything like that.
Exactly right.
So, Rashad Bateman, solid number 2, only 19% owned across ESPN leagues. Now, I'm surprised that this dude is even available to be in the waiver wire pickup spot.
Yeah, our number 1 guy. Like, I didn't even consider him at first, but then I realized how low owned he was, and I was like, oh my gosh, he's got to be number 1.
I can't believe he actually went down in percentage owned this week, and everyone that dropped him, I don't understand why you did. It makes no sense at all. Before we get into it, we got a couple questions on the chat.
Let's hit him. Let's hear it.
KTC Bull, bye weeks killed me. My flex, or need my flex to get 45 tonight. Oh, who's your flex? Let us know who your flex is.
Yeah, let's hear it. Hopefully it's Kamara.
Hopefully it's Kamara. That's what Josiah needs. James Z. Howe. I'm sorry if I butchered your name. Trade Henley and Ridley for Kupp and Najee Harris. Ooh, that's a interesting.
What was it?
Trade
Ridley
scenario.
and Kupp for Harris?
I'm assuming it's Derrick Henry and Ridley for Kupp and Najee Harris.
I would do that.
You'd do that? You'd take Kupp and Najee Harris for not Hunter Henry, but Derrick Henry and Calvin Ridley?
I would do that because I think.
Why would you do that?
Because I think Cooper Kupp is that much of a stud.
But Derrick Henry's that much of a stud.
I think Najee Harris is really good too.
Najee Harris is very good, but
Najee Harris is a little behind Henry, but I think Cooper Kupp is he's a lot above Calvin Ridley. I think right now I would make an argument to say Cooper Kupp is the best receiver, like the number 1 receiver the rest of the season for me. He's over Devontae Adams. He's over Tyreek Hill.
Oh yeah, number 1 wide receiver for sure. But Derrick Henry, he's outscored, I think, all but 6 quarterbacks in fantasy points this season. So you're giving that up. There's no other running back that you can get that kind of production from. I don't
think he's going to score
close.
that many points the rest of the year.
I mean, that's hard.
It's not sustainable.
I don't know.
I don't think it's sustainable. I think he'll still be the number 1 running back.
But is what Cooper Kupp's doing, is that sustainable?
Seems sustainable.
I mean, I don't know. Let me look. I've already kind of given. Let's finish this.
Who do you think will score more points the rest of the year, Cooper Kupp or Derrick Henry?
Derrick Henry. I feel like Derrick Henry will.
In a full PPR league.
Yeah, Derrick Henry. He already has. I think he's going to keep doing
After this week, though, I don't know. Cooper Kupp just scored 30, and Derrick Henry had 15.
Well, I feel like Derrick Henry is hard to trade. It's like you need 2 or 3 studs to equal the same amount of value as losing Derrick Henry. That's how I feel about it.
You can't go wrong either way on that trade, but
no, yeah, they're both.
For me, I would go with the Kupp side.
I understand why you're
the Derrick Henry side.
Yeah, I understand why you're asking. That's hard. Both sides are pretty nice. Because you're not really upgrading at a position. You're just trading both positions. Running back for wide receiver, running back for wide receiver. I feel like Kupp is a better option than Ridley. And Najee Harris is just a little bit less than Henry. I don't know. Maybe I would do.
Najee Harris
maybe
I
would do Kupp and Najee. Maybe I would go Kupp and Najee. But I've kind of
good question though. Thank you. You.
Top waiver wire pickup this week because I already brought up the graphic. But Kadarius Toney. I don't understand why he's only 43.9% owned across ESPN leagues. He actually lost 16% ownership over the weekend, and everyone, if you were that dude that dropped him, I don't know what you're doing. It doesn't make any sense.
You better be scrambling to pick him back up.
Yeah, you better do whatever you can to get that guy back on your lineup. His injury was not a long one; it's a short one. He just has a little bit of an ankle injury. He's got to kind of cater to a little bit. But for the rest of the season, this dude's a stud. Whenever he went out on his injury, the first 5 or 6 plays, half of them went to him. The first drive, he got 5.5 fantasy points, 5.2, I think, maybe fantasy points in the first drive, and then he went out for the rest of the game. That's going to continue. This dude is very elusive. He's going to be a yards made after the catch monster. It's Daniel Jones doesn't need to throw down the field for this guy to produce fantasy points. He's going to just cut and dodge everyone that comes at him. He kind of looks like a Derrick Rose of the NFL. Derrick Rose, he cut and the things he was doing didn't look sustainable. Kadarius Toney kind of looked, prior to his injury. Kadarius Toney looks that same way. Like, this dude is just going to dodge everyone that comes at him and create lots of after the catch yardage. So, this is why he's our number one. Only 43.9% owned across fantasy leagues. If he's available in your league, if you're one of the lucky bunch that has him available on your waiver wire, pick this dude up. He's going to be, in my opinion, a season winner.
Yeah, in my opinion, Tony's on your waiver wire right now.
Yeah,
go spend 75% of your waiver wire budget,
if not 90.
Yep.
This is an opportunity that we don't get to see very often.
Yep,
waiver wire pickup like this.
It's a chance to pick up a potential league winner type of player off the waiver wire.
Yeah.
And it's a guy who we already kind of know he has league winner potential. We've
already
seen
seen what he can do, and I don't understand why people were just. I mean, it was a big bye week, and people were desperate and needed to get plays. But still, I'd rather put no one in a position to make sure I have him for the rest of the season than drop him for someone like some guy that's just going to be beneficial for that week.
Yeah, he's a guy who, I mean, when he's healthy, you want to start him.
Yeah,
you don't have to be like, I don't know, I kind of want to start him, but he's close to my other players. No, when he's healthy, you start him.
Yeah.
If he's not healthy, then you don't start him. It's not a hard decision.
Yeah.
But once he gets healthy, he has the potential to score 25, 30 points.
Yep. A healthy Kadarius Toney is a lock and load every week for the foreseeable future, including next year. So grab him while you can.
Yep. Get him while you can. It's the last week to get him.
And ask yourself why you haven't grabbed him whenever you do grab him, because it makes no sense at all.